From being the face of the NBA to getting wrapped up in controversy overnight, Ja Morant has taken a huge hit this season. He's trying his best to deal with it, but he could use a little advice, and Shannon Sharpe sure had some words of wisdom to offer. Morant has had a stellar year, all thanks to his incredible skills as a point guard for the Grizzlies. He has some impressive stats to his name, like being one of the few 20-year-olds in the NBA who have successfully shot from beyond the arc.
Morant knocked away by Banchero. Morant got it back, draws the foul, and scored the basket. Oh my goodness. How in the world did he do that?
Even though it looks like Ja has a lot going for him, things are going downhill quickly. It's no secret that Morant's recent controversies have raised a lot of eyebrows inside the NBA community as well as outside it. Everyone's been quick to criticize and hate on the 23-year-old, but Shannon Sharpe has taken the time to give some solid advice to the youngster. Here's what he said. First, he started explaining the whole situation, talking about how Ja has a $200 or $300 million contract with the Memphis Grizzlies. Then he talked about how Ja has grown to become the new face of not just the NBA, but also many big brands like Nike. He does have a signature shoe from them after all. Not to mention the huge endorsement deal from Powerade. Sharpe thinks that Ja's portraying himself as something he's not. It seems like Shannon Sharpe is just as confused as the rest of us because he said he just doesn't get it when it comes to Ja. Instead of moving forward, he's hustling backward. He went on to say that once you get out of a certain environment, you absolutely have to leave it behind. There's no other choice. I definitely agree with this. Morant needs to realize how his life has changed and leave all the bad things behind. Even Shannon agrees that he needs to move differently. Shannon said that he hopes what the news and the rumors are saying isn't true and even addressed Ja directly. Sharpe kept reiterating, saying that Ja Morant can't put himself in this situation again. It's great that the ex-football player kept his advice short and sweet rather than lecturing Morant. He even added that he's never going to be in a position to give the guard advice about how to play basketball, but what he can give advice for is how to move. Sharpe ended with one last thing for Morant to hear. Ja needs to learn to let someone else's lesson be his lesson. All in all, I would say that it's pretty solid advice coming from someone like Shannon Sharpe. He clearly doesn't mean it in a condescending way because Ja has enough of that coming his way. Now, in case you don't know what the latest allegations against Ja Morant are, let's do a recap of what the past week has been like for him. Starting with the latest news, which says that Morant threatened a 17-year-old with a gun. That's not the only thing though. There's another story making rounds about Morant and his mom being involved in an altercation at a mall. Even though Ja Morant has responded and said that he's being targeted, I have to say it's just suspicious how these stories just seem to keep piling up. It's true, this could definitely hurt Morant's career, if not ended entirely. Of course, Morant didn't address these allegations directly at first. Instead, his agent released a statement saying that all these stories about him are irresponsible and defamatory. Who knows though? With Ja Morant's history of saying whatever comes to his mind on social media, it's no secret he's really gullible when it comes to people spreading stories like these. That's exactly why Jim Tanner, his agent, released a statement about the whole situation. Tanner straight up denied all the allegations, saying that all of them that involve guns have been investigated, and authorities found that they weren't adding up. Even in the NBA investigation last month, there was no evidence found proving Ja guilty. As for what happened on the 26th of July, it was nothing but self-defense. Jim Tanner made sure to let everyone know that every single event was investigated by the responsible authorities, and they decided not to charge the Grizzlies player with any time. Now, when you think about it and look at all the facts, there's no denying that the real story seems a bit questionable. Still, this means that Morant needs to be more cautious when it comes to his reputation. I mean, we all know he's made a lot of money in the NBA, enough for generations to come after him. And if Ja Morant wants to hold on to it, he needs to be on his best behavior and take Shannon Sharpe's advice. Everyone knows that Sharpe giving Morant advice is huge, especially considering his long-time beef with the Grizzlies. Now, as you can imagine, this Ja Morant stuff has shaken up the NBA world entirely.
Grizzlies are plus 15 on the glass. Morant scooping in, scoring, acrobatic by Morant.
See it, Morant able to get downhill, elevate,
But while everyone has been quick to criticize Morant, Sharpe isn't the only one who stepped up and gave him advice. Draymond Green of the Golden State Warriors even had a few things to say to Morant. Unlike most people, the Warriors forward didn't straight up condemn Ja or anything of the sort. This is new, especially considering the way analysts and even some fans have been part of the whole thing. It's been happening since a video of Morant holding a gun in a Colorado nightclub started circulating on the internet. Not only this, but Green made sure to appreciate T. Morant's parenting, which has come under fire since this whole controversy started. Draymond said that T. Morant did his best to raise his son as a successful black man, but as a grown adult, Ja is responsible for his own actions. And if you ask me, his parents' parenting shouldn't be called into question. I mean, a line has to be drawn somewhere, right? Draymond Green also added that Ja Morant needs to learn from everything that's transpired. After all, this whole ordeal has almost cost Ja Morant his NBA career, and he hasn't been with the Grizzlies for the past few games. Memphis also said that he's not going to be playing in the next 4 games either. It looks like Ja Morant is suspended indefinitely, which is probably the worst thing for him right now. The young guard who rose to fame because of his insane skills might be looking at a very long suspension for violating the NBA Code of Conduct. If they find out that he brought the gun out on team premises, even though all the authorities found that there wasn't enough evidence for him to be convicted, it's very likely that the NBA will hit Morant with a long suspension or even fine him hundreds of thousands of dollars. Here's why. The current collective bargaining agreement between the NBA and NBPA says that a player is strictly not allowed to carry a firearm while traveling for games or any other league-related activities. Nobody knows if Morant had the gun on team premises, but the NBA is trying to investigate this right now. At this point, if the NBA finds him guilty of violating their rules, Adam Silver is the one who's going to decide Ja Morant's punishment. After his Grizzlies suspension, Ja Morant released a statement and a long apology to everyone who was impacted by his decisions. He even promised that he was going to get help. Ja let everyone know that he takes full responsibility for his actions and that he's very sorry not only to his family, but his teammates, fans, coaches, partners, and even the city of Memphis and the rest of the Grizzlies organization. It looks like Morant is taking some time off to get the help he needs and even work on learning better methods of dealing with stress. It's been a roller coaster ride for Morant, the Grizzlies, and their fans. Let's just hope all of this clears up and is over soon, and that Morant can actually work on Shannon Sharpe's advice.
Oh, steal by Morant. Here comes showtime! From him with this lineup on the floor, you see as Morant come up with the steal, and it is showtime.
That's all I have for you guys today.